Good afternoon, students. You are able to hear me?
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, great. So I hope module 2 is very clear to you all. Okay, so yesterday I have explained the entire global integration of module 2, right? Strategies for international growth, right? We have seen what are the different strategies of international growth, that is exporting, licensing strategy, franchising strategy, alliance, multi-domestic strategy, global strategy, and all those things. And then we have also seen exploiting global integration. Okay, if you could see here, the exploiting global integration, and that first point was logic of global integration. So we have seen what is global integration. So global integration basically means centralized control over key resources and operations that are strategic in value chain. So various value chain processes which are very strategic. So centralizing those, taking the entire position of those processes in the value chain, that is the main thing of global integration. Okay, so here we have already seen the part of that, that is global integration, right? And then we have also looked into the need for internationalization of business, why it is required, right? Need for international expansion, how to control over the strategic drivers for global integration, that is what we have looked into, right? And we have also seen the differentiation, then mastering expatriation, that is what we have looked into. Okay, and then beyond the traditional expatriation, what are the different things, the purpose of expatriation, the diagram also we have seen, right? And then moving on to next, limits of global integration, that is also what we have seen, limits of global integration. uh, then afterwards, we have also gone for the tensions of expatriates, the five types of tensions which was being put into expatriates, right? Becoming locally responsive, the roots of responsiveness. Okay, and then we have also put forth the understanding of diversity, how to respond to diversity, limits of global integration, and all those things, right? Challenges of localization, how to become locally responsible. And then afterwards, we have also seen the tools of international growth, that is, what alliance and all those things, right? So, till this particular module, are there any questions, my dear students? Yesterday, you have heard the lecture. Any questions are there, or am I moving too fast? You're not understanding? How is it? Yes, students, I just want to ask you all, do you have any questions? Is exploiting global integration clearly understood? Yes, students, strategy for international growth, is it clearly understood? Exporting, then afterwards licensing strategy, then afterwards franchising strategy, alliance strategy, is it clearly understood? Multi-domestic strategy. Any doubts in this? Yes, any doubts in this?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so that is being clearly understood, right? Then afterwards, global strategy or global integration, is it clearly understood? The need for multinational global strategy and global integration, is it clearly understood? Is global integration clearly understood? What do you mean by global integration? Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What is global integration? Can anyone tell me? What do you mean by global integration? It is already there on the screen. Can anyone repeat it? Yes. Rohini Patil, please
Yes,
unmute us.
ma'am.
Yeah. Please repeat what is the global integration. You are seeing the screen, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me what is
Uh,
global integration.
Global integration means centralized control over key resources and operations that are strategic in value chain.
What do you mean by this?
Means the control is the resources are being controlled at the center with the help of the strategic value chain.
Okay. So this particularly means key resources and operations which are very important in the business. Okay, for example, marketing, finance, okay, HR, okay, then afterwards key production processes, quality, research and development, all these are key operations and key resources are the people who are there on the top end. Okay, all these key resources and key operations are centralized and controlled by the headquarters. That is what global integration means. Your business is set in entire world, but still the entire control of key resources and key operations are very much important in the strategic value chain. They are globally integrated and they are being centralized, okay, and controlled by the headquarters. That is what global integration means, right? So we have also seen the next one is global exploiting global integration. Okay, in that we have seen logic of global integration, right? So basically in global integration there is development of new knowledge also takes place, okay, on mostly at the global hub, usually the corporate headquarters of the or the worldwide product divisions, right? So foreign subsidiaries depend on center of resources, direction and information. They act as a product delivery pipeline to foreign markets, implementing the parent company strategy. So here, basically, if I take an example of global integration, uh, so, if you could take Gillette, okay, the US-based consumer giant is another good example wherein the firm globally integrates. Okay, firm globally integrates. So, a lot of development of new knowledge happens when you have global integration, when you have people coming from across the globe, right? So, Alzine, the former CEO who was the architect of Gillette, successfully had global expansion. Put it in this way, we know Argentina and France are different, but we treat them as same. So we sell same products, we use the same production method, we have the same corporate policy, we even use the same advertising in the different languages, of course. That is what was being put forth now by this particular sentence being put forth by Alcine. You can understand what exactly is global integration. So they are going to use the competence from around the world, okay, but the key control of entire resources as well as the operations is being held by the headquarters. And whatever it is, whatever country it may be, they do not change anything, right? They sell the same product to different country people, right? And then they use the same production method, everything is same, the corporate policies, the organization culture is same throughout the world. Okay, and they also use the same advertisement, but only thing is they put forth into different languages, which is being understood by the countries. This is one of the key example of global integration. Now, I hope, my dear students, global integration is clearly understood by you all, right? So basically, in global integration, not all mega national companies standardize the products and policies to this degree. Okay, it is not that every company does the same, but in global integration does not necessarily imply selling the same product in the same way all over the world. So what it does, what it means is the decision depends on the local customer needs. Certain companies go on with the local customer needs, and they also go for market differentiation been made by the managers. Okay, so tight integration, product development, or manufacturing functions at home allowed them to develop economies of scale in cost, equity, cost, quality, and product innovation. So, flooding with the world with automobiles, cameras, copiers, consumer electronics, and other products via the sales subsidiary abroad. So what they do is they identify core customers throughout the world. They put forth their products there and innovate or invent or change the quality of it, cost and addressing everything based on the local customer needs. So basically the products essentially remain the same, okay, but somewhere a little bit of difference would be there based on the local customer needs. So that's what we say, some of the companies are going for this particular mega national approach, right? And some companies such as Nokia use a mega national strategy of global integration as a first step to internationalization, moving a different strategic posture as they progress. So, indeed, elements of mega national strategies can be detected in most cases of early internationalization. where resources constraints require careful central control. Other firms maintain mega national orientation for an extended period of time because it fits with their products or markets. So this basically would be looked into as this basically would be looked into as the I'm sorry, I was getting a call. I'm really sorry for that. Okay, so this basically can could be looked into as mega national strategies when it comes to global integration. Okay, then coming on to next, need for international expansion with the control over key resources. So strategic drivers for global integration. Just a minute, students. Just a minute. Yes, students. Sorry for interruption. I was getting an urgent call. Right. Okay. So here exploiting global integration. When we speak about exploiting global integration, okay, it basically looks into the logic of global integration. So logic of global integration, my dear students. Yesterday I have explained the entire thing. So they look into economies of scale, value chain linkages, serving global customers, global branding, leveraging capabilities, world class standardization, competitive platforms, information advantage. Okay, all these are various logic of global integration. Then you have basically the differentiation, that is you becoming locally responsive. That is what I have explained yesterday. Then mastering expatriation beyond traditional expatriation, purpose of expatriation, limits of global integration. Any doubts in this, my dear students? Becoming locally responsible. Any issues in all understanding all this?
Yes, ma'am.
What? Yes, ma'am. What is the issue here? Yes. Okay.
Understanding, ma'am.
Okay, great. So becoming locally responsive, yesterday I have told how well you need to be locally responsive. You need to take care of local individuals also. And then we have also seen that understanding diversity, right? Responding to diversity, how well you can respond to diversity, challenges of localization, okay? And then IHRM and international alliances, right? Then tools for international growth. So when it comes to tools for international growth, I hope I had come down to IHRM and international alliances, right? How can you go with the cooperative strategy in which firms combine resources, capabilities to create a competitive advantage, right? So for that, we had understanding of tools of international growth. So when it comes to tools of international growth, first thing is cut cost of entry. Okay, so why international alliance is needed? First thing is to cut the cost of entry, leveraging opportunities, understanding the various opportunities throughout the world, and utilizing those opportunities, and then economies of scale, right? So here, my dear students, that is what was being put forth into tools of internationalization or international growth, right? And then we had gone to types of alliances. Okay, types of alliances. Types of alliances here, functional R&D and all those things we had looked into. Then afterwards, we have also looked into IHRM and international joint ventures. Then types of joint ventures. Okay, so here we have also seen basically uh, the joint venture facilities. Okay, and then so basically, what we would look into a joint venture is when two businesses based in two or more countries form a partnership. So the company that wants to explore international trade without taking on full responsibility of cross-border business transactions has an option of forming a joint venture with the foreign partner. So types of joint ventures, we have seen corporate joint ventures, non-corporate joint ventures, and all those things, right? So this basically brings module 2 to an end. So let us move on to module 3. So I hope things are being understood in module 2, and let us start with module 3. Okay. So here, my dear students, when we speak about module 3, it looks into the international workforce planning and staffing. Okay. So here, basically, when we speak about a labor market, it is a relationship of communication between the suppliers and the demanders, so that they are able to do the business together. Okay, so suppliers, it is nothing but the consultants, or basically the employment exchanges, the suppliers of human resource, and the demanders of human resource, that are the employees. So global aspect of labor market basically refers to world and all that contributes within this measure, also known as globalization. So globalization is the process of integrating regions through societies, political systems, economies, and culture to share ideas between the countries. So culturally, when we see this is beneficial because we are learning from other countries and bridging the gap between the countries. So all around, globalization is a positive action because we can learn from each other and better our countries with other ideas, and in turn work for the good of the whole world. So international labor standards refer to conventions agreed upon by international actors, resulting from a series of value judgments set forth to protect basic workers' rights, enhancing workers' job security, and improving the terms of employment on the global scale. The intent of basically such standard is to establish a worldwide minimum level of protection from inhuman labor practices through the adoption and implementation of state measures. From a theoretical standpoint, it has been maintained on ethical grounds that there are certain basic human rights that are universal to humankind. Thus, it is the aim of international labor standard to ensure that provisions of such right in the workplace, such as against workplace aggression, bullying, discrimination, gender equality, etc. On the other hand, working diversity, okay, then workplace democracy and bringing in empowerment. So, global workforce basically refers to international labor pool of workers, including those employed by multinational companies, and connect through a global system of networking and production. Immigrants, workers, transient migrant workers, commuting workers, those in export oriented employment, contingent workers, and other precarious employment. So this is basically putting forth the introduction of international labor market. Okay, so here when we speak about international recruitment function, so basically the changing nature of mobility worldwide means that HR functions in international organization has to meet a series of challenges in resourcing. So it has to work within the globally coordinated system, whilst recognizing and being sensitive to local needs. Then practitioners are looking to source talent from increasingly varied places around the world. So integrating a diverse workforce for maximum organizational and individual performance is very crucial. Then increasing the lines between traditional HR functions are blurred. So resourcing specialists have to focus on management development and reward issues, as well as resourcing, as well as the resourcing ones. So mergers and acquisitions activities also do take the HR practitioners are engaged in selecting the employees in changing environment and looking to harmonize HR practices. If you could see here, my dear students, international recruitment function aims at globally coordinating systems, okay, while recognizing the local needs also. One. Second is they look into sourcing the talents from increased varied places around the world. They try to identify the talent. They try to identify the competent people across the globe and try to maximize the organizational efficiency, and individual performance becomes very crucial here. Okay, and then wherein the other part of it is when it comes to international recruitment functions, there are a lot of increasing lines between traditional HR functions which are very much blurred, right? There is nothing called as traditional HR function here. So the HRs have to, as we have seen in the module one, HRs have to deeply focus into the management development programs, reward issues, okay, and deeply get into the personal life of the employees and all those things. Then afterwards, coming on to next, mergers and acquisitions also are one of the activity through which HR practitioners also engage in selecting the employees and changing the environment and looking in for harmonized HR practices. So what the one company HR practices and the other company HR practices, which is situated in another country, when both are merging, they try to combine the right HR practices and put forth a harmonized HR practice. And basically, recruitment function, HR looks into maximizing the learning opportunities, giving global networks to share best practices. They share the best practices. Knowledge management is being the key here. The learning organizations also is the key, wherein they start keep on learning. Okay, the best practices. Then afterwards, rapidly changing business situations. In a volatile global market means HR must often recruit. They have to keep on recruiting, deploying, developing, and shed people at a great speed. So immediate and fast action is required here. So when it comes to recruitment functions, you cannot take a call very easily, right? So you need to look into all the restrictions, all the limitations when it comes to global market. See to it that the changes, whatever are happening in the global market, you also adapt to that particular change, and you have to have a competitive edge. So you have to have competent people on roll in your organization. So immediate talent should be recruited who will be accepting that particular challenge which the market poses, and see to it that they put forth their efforts and bring in a competitive edge to the organization. Then rapidly changing business situations, okay, and global market means HR must often recruit, okay, deploy and all those things, right? Two times it is being put forth here, right? So here, if you could see, my dear students, when it comes to international recruitment function, it is a key function for the success of any organization which is global, which operates globally, right? So coming on to next, sources of international recruitment. What are the different sources of international recruitment? First source of international recruitment is headhunters. Okay, so here it is recruiting from the top management executives. So headhunting is nothing but recruiting from the top management executives who are highly skilled and resourceful, and whose contribution to the organization leads to success, or these employees are the competitive advantage of the organization. For example, those employees who are competitive advantage of some company is offered a fancy designation, high salary package, and made to join their company. This process is called as headhunting. So headhunting can be done via ads. It can be done via job portals. It can be done via referrals, etc. There are three types, that are direct, indirect, and third party recruitment. So headhunting is not necessarily an HR human resource job, but that of a corporate, okay, corporate recruiter. So often referred to as headhunters, corporate recruiters. These people are being referred to as headhunters. So corporate recruiters, what they do is they pick up job orders from HR managers of most organizations to help them to fill need of hiring department. So this helps the staff in getting a person to hire much more quickly. So this is one of the quickest way to recruit, and with a great advantage. So corporate recruiter will place the advertisement for the job opening, perform a preliminary interview of good candidates, ensuring resumes of people they have found from the top contenders. So this saves HR department a lot of time and effort when trying to locate the right person. So money, it all comes down to usually the placement fees or finder's fees is generally 30% of the annual salary of the person recruited. Okay. Now coming on to next, my dear students, cross national advertising. Okay, cross national advertising. When you speak about cross national advertising, world is a global village, and as part of the globalization, labor migration is more common and accepted all over the world. So at present, many companies seek to carry out cross border when they recruit senior staff. Basically, it is being mentioned rising apply of advertising such as targeted outdoor poster sites, airport lounges, so airline managers and journey to work routes. So simultaneously, international publications like The Economist magazine, the Wall Street journals regularly represent some advertisements for high-level posts in many organizations all over the world. Although that advertising should consider cultural differences, it may well be the case that valuable targeting of such advertisements ensures that they are seen more or less totally by people. They are more used to and accepting of the multicultural messages. So that's what we speak about cross-national advertisements. Then you have e-recruitment. It is nothing but a process of personal recruitment through electronic machines. So this is one of the best way of recruitment when it comes to international. So here in particular, the internet. Okay. So companies and recruitment agents have moved much more than the requirement process online, so as to improve the speed by which candidate can be matched to the live vacancies. So, using database technology and online job advertising boards and search engines, employers now fill the post in the fraction of time previously possible. Using online e-recruitment system may potentially save the employer's time as usual. Then can rate them. Okay, so candidates and several persons in HR department independently review the candidate, and then online interviews and all those things will be done, and then finally they go in for e-recruitment. Then you have international staffing choice. So here one of the major decision of HRM when a company decides to operate overseas is how the overseas operations will be staffed. Right. So type of staffing choice we'll be looking into in the next class, my dear students. Still here, is there any problem? Your understanding? Yes. Till here, there are any problems? Yashaswini, your understanding?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here, basically, I'll just move into one of the types of staffing choice. Okay. So basically, there are three main staffing strategies a company strategy uses. Employees from home country to live and work in the country. So from the entire different countries, from the home country and the host country. So these individuals are called as expatriates, which I have already seen. Okay. So second staffing strategy is host country national strategy, which means to employ people who were born in the country in which the business is operating. And finally, you have third country national strategies, means employee advantage and disadvantages of three staffing strategies, which we'll be looking into next. Okay. So here we have certain staffing choices which we'll be looking into the next class. Okay. So here, my dear students, I would like to ask certain questions to you all. Uh, record again. Hello, Akshata. Akshata Kadati.
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubts in understanding the subject?
No, no, ma'am.
No. Okay. So you all require notes or do not require notes? Yeah, Akshata, require notes or do not require notes?
Mm, ma'am.
Notes are required?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So till now, no one has asked about the notes. Okay, we require notes, ma'am. That's good. Okay. So module 1, module 2, module 3, module 4, module 5, module 6. I am thinking of sending all notes together, right? So by 100% yesterday, I couldn't send because of the network issues. I had the data was over because of the classes which I was taking. Okay. So today I will be sending all module notes, right? And you can sit and refer through all those modules, and then we'll be looking to the next module. Okay. So here basically. Moving down to next, different approaches to multinational staffing decisions, which will be looking into the next class, right? So I hope things are being very much clear here. Somewhere I feel personally that little bit of confusion is there in module 2. Somewhere I don't know, because that's my feeling that you people have not understood clearly what is being explained. So if I ask the questions, will you be ready to answer? Yes, Pratiksha Bhatkande. Pratiksha, please unmute yourself, Pratiksha. Sushmita, please unmute yourself. Saujanya, Saujanya, please unmute yourself, Saujanya.
Yes, ma'am. Hello, ma'am.
Very good. What are the strategies of international growth, Saujanya? What are the strategies of international growth? How a company can grow international? What are different strategies? Yeah, Saujanya, please answer. You know it or don't know it?
I don't know,
Saujanya,
ma'am.
I want. Okay, great. Anyone else who could answer this question?
Ma'am,
Yasin? Yeah. Yeah, Yashaswini.
ma'am, knowing the taste and preference of international customers
Hmm.
and the laws and regulations exist in the other countries
Hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
uh,
What are the different strategies for international growth? If you want to go international, what
yeah,
are the different strategies that you can follow? My dear students, the strategies
Ma'am,
are
ma'am, joint
yes,
venture,
very good.
ma'am, merger and acquisition.
Okay.
Only two I know.
Okay. So here, as I've explained, exporting strategy, you can either go for exporting, licensing strategy, franchising strategy, alliance strategy, multi-domestic strategy, and global strategy. In all this, you can include the mergers and acquisitions, and all this you can include in this, right? What is global integration? Sushmita? Sushmita, what is global integration? What do you mean by global integration? At the start of this class, I have told two times, three times I explained it. What do you mean by global integration? Yasin, what is global integration? Yasin, what do you mean by global integration? Tejasvi, what do you mean by global integration, my dear students? Global integration means centralized control over key resources and operations that are strategic in value chain. At the start of the class itself, I explained, but I find here that you people are not attentive in the lecture. Manjita, Manjita,
Yes, ma'am.
what do you mean by global integration, ma?
Where company can use their product and resources, yeah, same method in other countries.
No. Global integration is integrating with the businesses in various countries, wherein you are going to have a control over the key resources and key operations. Control will be with the headquarters, but operations will be going on throughout various countries. My dear students, understand it. IHRM is a subject wherein it's very interesting, right? And a lot of n number of terms which will be new to you all. So please, I request you all, whenever you are not understanding any part, when I am explaining something and you are not understanding it, please interrupt me, tell me that I'm not understanding this, ma'am, please explain it. I will 100% explain it to you all. But please don't sit quiet at the end. When I ask, you say you understood, and when I ask the questions, you are not able to answer. So that should not happen. Is it clear, students?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So please see to it that you listen to the lecture attentively. Okay. Don't only depend on the notes. Okay. Please concentrate on the lecture also. And you are not understanding anything, try to tell me, interrupt in between. Tell me 100%. I'll explain to you all. Fine. Okay. The next part of this particular module 3 will be looking into the next session. Thank you for now. Thank you very much, students.